How y'all doing? If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. So got a Game of Life, and we got a really large $4 bag of toys. A couple of things I identified on it that pay for it, which is how I roll. If I can see value in it, to at least get me to break even, you pick it up because you don't know what's in it. Especially something this large, could be something in the middle I missed. And we'll go through it, and you learn a bit as you go through stuff. And then Game of Life, we're gonna evaluate Game of Life, see if I should still pick them up or if I should start letting them go. I'm not gonna bother trying to sell it as is. As a box game, we're only doing parts on this. Thankfully, because at the thrift store I grabbed these at, for whatever reason, rather than putting one piece of tape here, etc., the person tapes the entire edge of the box, which I've had to undo on a stream once, and it took me 15 minutes. Sold that. That was boarding parties and whatever it's called. Milton Bradley, like 1984 pirate themed board game. I sold it pretty quick, actually. Money, so it was worth doing. Alright, picking this up. I know one thing in here sells, and the one thing in here that sells are the cars and the pegs. Because I just picked one up and sold it, but we're going to evaluate what else is in this box, and that's going to help me determine if I even pick these up anymore. Now, there are parts of it that move in theory, but it's something you need to evaluate every once in a while. Sometimes you'll be picking stuff up and then you'll go throw it into your storage and be like, wait a minute, I have 6 of these at this point. Then you start making changes to your pricing. You start making bundles. So we're gonna figure out where Life is at with that. So this is a later model Life. So the earlier models you could actually even sell as a box if you want. They do go. I don't bother because the price on parts is generally good enough for me, and it's pretty rare to find like a 1985 Life that's still in sellable shape. It does come up. I've done it before, but not looking to do it again. All right, so we have our money. And we're gonna just kind of figure out what we got here, and then we'll start looking at what we would consider bringing on the future, or start changing prices on stuff I have listed. Weirdly, you can't search your listings on eBay on a computer, but you can on your mobile device, and I don't know if there's something I'm missing. And it's quite easy on the mobile device, and I've never seen a way to do it on the computer. So if you know of one, by all means, let me know. I'm certainly missing out. So, yeah, this later version of Life, the banknotes are different shapes. We have insurance. Different notes. Actually, it's pretty good. It's a complete one. So yeah, a couple of pieces. Oh, so if I wanted to sell it as a game, that wouldn't be happening. This board is broken. Somebody snapped it in half, but they took all the pieces off for whatever reason. I don't know if they were gonna rehab it and change their mind. So there's like these embedded bits in the board. These don't sell. I have sold the buildings, and we're going to be looking to see if I should even bother anymore. I know for a fact I sold 2 sets to one person a couple years ago, and it was for a project, they said. So that might have just been, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of fail, and we shouldn't be bringing them in. That's what we're evaluating now. go for a bunch of stuff. Bear with me. All right. So we have our spinner. We have the career cards, all the different cards here. And then we have these like chips. We have the cars that we know have value. And then the buildings we're going to look at. So we got our money. What I did is I pulled up my listings and I put in the word life. The first thing we have is replacement cards and tiles. So these are the tiles. These are all the cards. Are we missing cards? Huh, I think we're missing some. Stock cards. They are purple. This may not even be complete. Or they're mixed up. Maybe they separated this for like a game they were doing and then they just never got back to it. I believe it's 9 of each. So 3, 3, 9. Doesn't look right. Seven, 8. Might be one career went in here and this is stock. 9, yeah, that's exactly what happened. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Got some decent bags out of this anyways. Alright, so we have our cards, and there should be 25 tiles. Nine, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 25. Okay, so we have all of that. So I have an active listing. And I did pick this game up, and I think I sorted it on video. Sometimes if I just get redundant stuff, I don't bother doing a video on it. I just kind of list it. Just to not have, like I buy a lot of monopolies. So, and I have that listing. I have it at $10 for the same thing. Yeah, there's no way that's going to come out. 0 views, 0 watchers. It's only been up for 42 days. But that tells me that it's not really hopping at any rate. Now, this is a different year. I would have to make a different listing for this. But what I'm going to do is probably lower this right now by $1. If you get no views at all on something after a month, it's not something rare or kind of odd, tells you probably priced yourself out inadvertently, perhaps. So just lower it by $1. If you want to keep track of what you're doing in that regard, if you change the title of the item that you're selling, you could put like a code to yourself. Some people you'll notice, you'll look up a G.I. Joe or whatever, and at the end of the title it'll say like F15. That's a code to them, so they know like it's on shelf F box 15. It's your listing, you can do what you want with it. But so I would list these for 9 as well, but I just lowered that price on there. So what else we got? We have 1991 Game of Life, bills and insurance, and that was the same day I listed it. That has 2 views, no watchers at $8. So I would leave that alone, and I'd list this for 8 as well. So Game of Life, 7 buildings. I have quantity 3 listed 2 years ago. 0 views, 0 watchers. So I'm not going to add quantity 4. It's not worth doing. But that's why we do this. I sold those 2 years ago. And I think it was just to see, like, does anybody want it? And somebody grabbed them. So I got in the habit of the last 2 years of listing them. Now I know that was really just an isolated incident. You know, and if I happen to sell all 3 for some reason, so be it. But I don't think we're going to be moving those. And at a point, I'm going to look at my game board part bin, and I might find those listings. I might just toss them. But we're not listing it. And that's why you do this. But we got the cars. Let's see, another listing of just money, not the deeds with it. $8, 2 views, 2 watchers. That's fine. Now, that is a running ad that I've added to and sold off of. That's been up for 3 years, but I've never actually sold all of them at once. And I actually want that. I want, like, my Monopoly listing to just have a quantity and it goes down and I add to it and I just keep the same listing. So, Game of Life orders, which is stuff I've sold in the last 3 months out of Game of Life. I have the cars that we're talking about that I already sold. So we just replaced some of those. I could reactivate the listing if the pegs are all the same. And then I got that spinner. I forgot I sold one of those. We got one spinner here. And another spinner. I sold a different spinner at some point. So, yeah. So going forward, I know this is viable. This probably less so, but I'm going to go ahead and I've adjusted my pricing. I'll go ahead and add that. And I'm going to not bother with those buildings anymore. But everything else seems to be okay on this. Profit margin on that box. So that was a good pickup for $1.50. So now we got this bag. The reason I grabbed it is I spotted we have some Thomas stuff in a separate bag inside of here. And I couldn't really see what it was. I see it's cars. But this Thomas, the train, and these I don't want to say non-canon, but like more, I guess, rarer cars tend to go pretty well. So if that works, that pays for the whole bag. And it's full of stuff. It looks like it's mostly wooden toys and baby stuff. So we're going to do a little research and figure out how much value we can extract. So baby stuff is kind of tricky. Certain baby items will sell, but I think there's an idea that used stuff for babies is not a great idea. Now, granted, there's no bacteria on this that could survive in this state for this amount of time. So there's really nothing the baby's gonna pick up from a used toy that would be bad. But anyway, so it's sorted. It's a poppet. Those were never valuable. That was just a fidget spinner or whatever. So we're just gonna go through, get all the trash out of the way. No, don't need this. Oh, so this is a good example of why we do this. This is a Melissa and Doug airplane. Melissa and Doug stuff goes pretty well and for significant money. So that might actually be the most valuable thing in here. I don't have a ton of room. I'm just going to get rid of stuff I'm getting rid of. Blocks, like bathtub toys. Nobody's going to buy. We have little tykes. These don't really move. So this wooden thing, I'm guessing, goes to the airplane. That did fit pretty well. We have a Hot Wheels. I talked last video. I don't bother with these anymore. Just if they sit, it's too competitive. Unless I have something older, I don't bother. Right. I saw this guy in here. And I didn't know what he was, and I couldn't really identify. So he's not a G.I. Joe, but he has Phillips screws in the back. So screws add a significant manufacturing component to a toy versus just a molded toy that snaps together or is a single piece. So it makes me think there's value here when I see stuff like that. But I didn't see a marker. So generally it's going to be between the legs. I'm guessing this is going to be Lennard. Yeah, there are no markers on this. So it could be just a cheap toy. I may Google Lens it. I'm guessing it's Lennard, and in that case, it's not going to sell unless you have a lot of them. We have a mini Etch-a-Sketch. These don't really go for anything, I don't think. We'll just set it aside just in case. We'll learn. We won't assume. Leapfrog makes interactive toys. Some of these are valuable. So this is a... It takes a battery. I don't know what it does. I'm guessing it's a movement-activated toy. So we're going to dig into that. Get some blocks we'll toss out. We got another bathtub toy. Okay. Stacking block. This is a weird toy. It looks like circus something. So open it up and see what these are exactly. So it looks like you stack them up, being they're called stacking blocks. Goof around that second. We'll hang on to those and figure out what we'll do. Another bathtub toy. We got the Thomas bag. We'll have to look at. Have Cuddle Crew, whatever that is. It feels cheap. Got a musical pineapple, a Squishmallow original. Squishmallow as a collectible. The bubble burst on that about 1.5 years ago. I stopped taking them in. I sold some. Got rid of the rest. So it's another little Tykes. A Matchbox 2015. With a very tiny Venom. I don't know what that is. We'll look at that in a bit. We get the rest of the plain people. We have Night Ninja. That'll go in the bin when I get 3 PJ Masks. I make a lot. Then we have a Build and Grow plain exclusively from Lowe's, so that's no value at all. Alright. So, look at these stacking guys. I have a few different shapes. So the hands and the feet link up. And then they can do that. Let's just be like a, a motor skills builder kind of toy. I don't think there's anything particularly special about this. Very wobbly considering I'm doing this on a desk, but so whatever, we'll look it up. Stacking toys. That's what they're indeed called. If we get a brand or something on these. It was on somebody's chest and they're numbered. Now, I'm looking at it and there's playing card suits and numbers on it. Oh, there it is. Stacking blocks. All right, so that as a brand name is not very helpful. 26,000 stacking blocks. I guess they don't interlock like those wooden ones. Yeah, so this probably is a dead end. They're very cheap feeling. So I'm going to I'll Google Lens it real quick, but I think they're going in the trash. Alright, so Google Lens shows their Montessori brand, which is an educational toy brand, stacking people. There's 3 for sale, and nobody's buying them. So we're just going to toss them out. We're going to keep that bag, though. Funny, I just went downstairs to get a bag to put all the Game of Life stuff into. You go through quite a bit of bags when you're shipping, especially like all the shelf stuff I've been doing. Put them in a sandwich bag and then put stuff under the easily breakable parts and then tape the bag together so it won't come apart. So we have this very tiny, very tiny Venom. And I have no idea what it is supposed to be. It looks like it belongs in something, like a model, like a toy store model. So we're going to Google Lens this. Now, Google Lens has a hard time with scale. It doesn't necessarily understand that the thing I'm showing it is very, very tiny. So it is a model of a full-size figure. That's kind of what I thought. Like, what on earth is this, though? So I'm going to augment Google Lens. I'm going to add tiny to my search and see if I can figure out what I'm showing it. Disney Mini Brand Series 2 Toy Minis. So that's what it is. This is like functionally useless, like quite frankly. Like for a gimmick, sure, and you can collect them and you can stack them up maybe, but you know, obviously you can't play with this thing. But yeah, there it is. Mini Brands. That's got to be what it is. So yes, it's a mini mystery. So we'll put Mini Venom toy. That's still a lot. Oh, here they are. Mini Brands Disney Store Series 3 Pick Your Toy. Based on the pricing, we are just going to toss this out. They've got a whole bunch of them right here in this picture. $1 each plus shipping. The blind bag stuff is a gimmick. It doesn't really have any resale value. This guy's selling one for $800. That's cool. Considering the other guy has 6 of them in his picture, I'm kind of feeling that's a hard ask. So yeah, we're just gonna get rid of that. That has no value. We've got a mini Etch-a-Sketch while we're doing this. So 359 of these for sale. We'll see if any particular ones move. 39 sold. These are in package. That one's went overseas. So, okay, this is what I have, the Spin Master. At that sell-through, I just don't want to be bothered with it, honestly. And this is a thing where if you were a new reseller, like there's a different level to this. If you were a new reseller, I would be excited to put this up because it would probably eventually go. But I've been doing this long enough where I just don't want something like this sitting around for 2 years, like we went over with Game of Life. I now my stuff takes up less room and I make more money on it. And I like it that way. So if I was a new reseller, yeah, I'd do that. And I'd look for these and I'd try to move them. But at this sell through, it's just not going to happen. So I'd rather just move it along. All right, let's look up this figure. Now, this is going to be another example where Google Lens is going to have a hard time. Because this kind of looks like a lot of different toys. But I'm guessing Leonard. It's actually not even branded. It's retro military soldier toy. So this was something from like a grocery store. It's not vintage. It's not even like a Chapmay or a real knockoff brand, which is why it's not branded. Figure, bootleg. So this is going to have no value. Let's give it to my kids to play with a little bit. All right, let's look up Leapfrog Rattle. And this could be a low-key banger. I have sold some interactive electronic toys before. Now, when you're reselling, something to consider is that your customer base is sometimes like a grandparent. It's like a long-distance kind of relationship with a child, and they will ship stuff to them. Comes up all the time. Okay, that is not the battery hatch. That doesn't even come apart. Where on earth does the battery go? It's got to be a battery. It's not like a perpetual motion winding device. Yeah, that hatch didn't move. We got another hatch here. And then we got something on the bottom. If I wanted to, I would pull up, you know what, we're just going to, Leapfrog makes me assume it's interactive, because that's what they do, but it might just be colorful. So we're going to look up Leapfrog Rattle, and we got Leapfrog Rattle. Here's the same one, Fisher Price Leapfrog, Baby, Learn and Grow, Learn and Groove Maraca. Non-musical. I mean, maraca's a percussion instrument, let's be honest. Non-musical is kind of harsh. So it doesn't do anything. It's actually just a maraca. Ah, here's the Leapfrog version that is not just a maraca. So, all right. We got 29 of these, and they're not all this one. So we'll get an idea if anybody's going to buy it. I'm kind of doubting it if it does nothing other than be a rattle. 1 sold. I'm not going to bother listing this. Got $9 back in January. Yeah, we're good. We'll toss that out. All right, Melissa and Doug Airplane. This could be a low-key banger. So we got Melissa and Doug, and they put item numbers on their stuff. And these are fairly hot toys. People like that they're made out of wood. They're more like traditional, I suppose. 9394 is the item number. That didn't really help us out, so let's put airplane. I don't know if it's complete. I feel like I'm missing a cargo piece or something. So here's the airplane in the package, and that'll let us know what was supposed to be in it. So we have this pilot. We have, yeah, so we're missing their luggage. But we have all the people. And I don't think that's necessarily a deal breaker. It's too bad, but 2023, it's not vintage, but you know, this guy's selling it for $30. Melissa and Doug stuff goes for big money. We got 84 for sale. So let's go straight to sold here. 16. Got 14 with the luggage. Got 14. 25 with everything. Yeah, most of these are not actually the item though. So here's an example of, I've talked about this before, where sell-through isn't the only thing. These do move. They are for sale. And if I want to, I could list this. And as long as I'm cheap, it will go. It is kind of heavy though. So if I list this for like 12 bucks, it'll go. I have really no doubt about that. How long? I'm not sure. So if we sort by price, I bet 12 would be the cheapest, hands down. This guy's got just the plain without anything. And it's over 12. Yeah, we're going to go for it. Why not? So we're going to sell this with just the people, not the luggage. $12. The shipping is going to be a bit high. But whatever. We just paid for the bag. So this is now our gravy. So we got, who is this? This is 2021, Ghislaine, Patel. You know, at a point they got like more like cartoony, or they were just like, honestly, they're just ethnic stereotypes. It was kind of weird, but nowadays they just look like that. So I think this is the battery compartment. I think it's just a single. Oh, the double. So the batteries aren't in it, which is great. Oh, these new ones are cheap. Wow. The action is very weird on this. Now those batteries also could be very old. But it works. It's not going to talk, but that's chill. So we know it works. I don't know who this is. It used to be that they'd have their name on the side of the back too. Yeah, we'll just punch it in. 2021 Thomas. Motorized train. See if we can find this guy. So yeah, their faces are really cartoony now. I've not seen these in a while. I've actually never picked up a newer one, but here's our guy. So we've got Deliver the Win. What's his, I don't know what his name is. So everybody copied the same listing that doesn't say what his name is. Kind of weird. Oh, unless this is Diesel. That sounds familiar. Okay, Diesel. Never mind. Deliver the Win Diesel. Sure. Alright, so we got 65 of these for sale. So it came in this set. They all kind of come with a car at this point, so I am missing the car. But everybody else seems to be as well. And with car, people are asking $18.65 for sale. 18 sold. That's great. So $8 makes perfect sense to me without a car. That's pretty much what I thought I'd get for it, 8 or 9. So we'll do that. Then we got this back. Oh, it looks pretty good. So, have some kind of instruction. Some plastic bits. Thomas and Friends park the ice truck. A play mat. Looks like a play mat from a restaurant. I don't quite understand why this is in here. Thomas and Friends poster. 2023. That probably just came with that. These are cheap. And again, they have like the weird faces. These are very cheap. They weigh almost nothing. That's pretty surprising. 2023, so we got Percy, Thomas, James, a car, Christmas stuff. Got some stickers. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and look this up. 2023 Thomas. Oh, winter. Just see if we get anything that pops up. Thomas train. So we have the Winter Wonderland. We just did that set where he has the snow pusher on it. But this isn't motorized. That's the mini version. Like, there's really not any detail on these. Like, this car, comparatively, this one has like icicles on it. This one just is like a top. This is shockingly cheap for Thomas products. I'm guessing it's going to be a set. Like a Christmas set or something. Try... Christmas Mountain. So this is along this line. That tree is... Okay. So we got that. Got a tree. So it's not that set. It may be two sets that are kind of mushed up. This doesn't say what it actually is. Christmas train set. Oh, we're undersold. That would be why we're having that issue. Oh, this could be an advent or blind bag. That would make sense. Never mind. I'm not even going to get a rant into Thomas getting Cade. All right, I'll Google Lens this real quick. All right, so this is actually one set, and it was for Thomas and Friends magazine, which I didn't know was a thing. It is the winter gift pack. I don't know if they sent it out to subscribers, but that's everything we have on the table in a pack, and they're not for sale anywhere. And that kind of leaves us in a funny place because I don't know what to charge for this. But Winter Gift Pack gave me no options, even though that's absolutely what it's called. So I'm just going to sell this a lot of non-motorized winter Thomas the Train, and we'll do $10 on it. That should move it along. So Spent $550. Profit is 26, which is not too bad. We learned a little bit. Like, for instance, this plane, I'll be on the lookout for that. Because if we get a full one with the luggage, I think it's going to move really well. And at a better price than what I had to list it for. But if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.